Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia and I am officially done 75 Hard. I completed it yesterday at the time of this recording and I'm feeling really good, and I'm not going to do a whole episode on that yet, but I just wanted to talk about my current wellness non-negotiables. Some of these things are things I'm going to carry over from 75 Hard, and some are completely different from 75 Hard. These healthy habits that I have been doing daily have been really essential for my physical and mental health. And I think it's really important to have some sort of routine and have healthy habits, because that will help you in so many different areas of your life. It will help you feel better physically. You're going to feel stronger and healthier. It's going to make you happier. It's going to boost your mood, and you're going to be more productive as well. So if you currently don't have any habits in place that you do daily, I highly recommend taking a couple of these ones. I have them categorized in physical, nutrition, mental and emotional, and personal development habits. So I'd recommend taking one from each of those categories, or maybe this will spark an idea for you, but a lot of these are very basic wellness habits that most people should be doing anyways. So the first category is physical. So one thing with 75 Hard is you have to walk, or you have to do an outdoor exercise every day for 45 minutes. It can be whatever you want. I chose walking for the most part. Sometimes I did running, but for the most part, it was just walking outside. And that is a habit I really want to maintain. It's currently snowing here where I am, which is crazy because I thought winter was behind us, but I guess not. But I still plan on doing my walk today, even though I'm done 75 Hard, because getting out in the fresh air and going on those walks has been probably the most beneficial thing I did during 75 Hard. It makes me feel so much better. It clears my mind, makes me feel accomplished, and it really helps my mental health. So even though it's more enjoyable to walk when it's nice out and getting the sunshine, it still feels really good to walk, even when it's gloomy and rainy and snowy. So highly recommend doing this regardless of what the weather looks like. The next one is working out. So I either do weight training, running, yoga, or boxing. I've been attending these Rumble boxing classes and they've been so much fun. It's like nightclub vibes, but you are hitting a heavy bag and the music is blasting and there's lights and it's just so much fun. It's good cardio and it's a good upper body workout and lower body and core. They mix everything in. So those are things that I really enjoy, but you can figure out whatever you enjoy, whether that's just yoga or maybe just walking is something that you enjoy. I do recommend doing some sort of resistance training, whatever that looks like for you, because it is very good for your bones and your muscles, and it will really make a difference as you age. So I really recommend resistance training, whether you do that by yourself, in a class, get a personal trainer, whatever it is. I've gone deeper into the benefits of weight training on another episode, but I feel like it's pretty well known that weight training is really beneficial, but there are a lot of myths and preconceived notions about it. However, it is so good for everybody, so I'd really recommend that, but also just find something you enjoy doing. And then the last one for physical is stretching. So this was not part of 75 Hard, but I stretch every single morning. And there have been times where my mornings have been a little more rushed. I've been really busy. So I had to do my stretching a little later in the day, and I notice a huge difference. When I'm stretching in the morning, I feel so much better. I feel looser. I feel like I can move my body way easier. But if I wait and stretch later, I notice I'm a lot more stiff and sore. I don't know if this is just me getting older or me doing a lot of physical activity or being an ex-gymnast, but stretching has helped me so much. The next category is nutrition. So with 75 Hard, I chose to track my calories and my macros and just kind of ate as healthy as I could. If I went out to dinner or if I was in a setting where someone else was making food, I would just try to choose the healthiest option and watch my portion control. Now that 75 Hard is over, I want to continue this for the most part. I'll still be tracking my calories and eating as healthy as I can, but I will also let myself have a cheat meal every now and then, have a sweet treat, whatever. But I think before 75 Hard, I was just letting myself do that too much. It wasn't as balanced as I thought it was. So I'm really going to focus on finding that balance better and knowing that it's not an all or nothing mindset. It's not if you have one little cheat, then your whole day is done, which is what my mindset was before. But now it's like I know I can just have one cheat meal and I can eat healthy the rest of the day, and that is way better for me. I also noticed with 75 Hard that I actually wasn't really craving food that much. At the beginning, I was more so, but after a while, like after I was halfway through, I would say I didn't really crave anything. And a lot of people have been asking me, oh, what's one thing that you're really excited to eat after 75 Hard? And I didn't have an answer because I just am not craving things like I used to. And I don't have the desire to eat those things like I used to. So that's been a really cool and beneficial thing that has stemmed from 75 Hard. And I really want to maintain that. The next one for nutrition is hydration. So making sure I'm hydrated. On 75 Hard, I had to drink a gallon of water every day, which is pretty easy for me. I drink a lot of water anyways, but I don't just want to drink plain water. I think supplementing with electrolytes is very important, especially when you are as active as I am, because water itself won't hydrate you as much as you think it will, especially if you are physically active. So I've been drinking electrolytes every single day, probably for the past month and a half, I would say, maybe even longer. And I've noticed a really big difference. I'm less thirsty because before, when I was just drinking a ton of plain water, I wasn't actually getting hydrated. I was just consuming all this water and I would crave more and more of it because I wasn't actually being hydrated. But adding in the electrolytes has helped a lot. The next one is meal prepping. I've talked a lot about this, but meal planning and meal prepping has been crucial for me. Every Sunday, I plan out what I'm going to eat that week, and I get groceries for the whole week, and I meal prep for 3 days at a time. So I eat the same things for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday's more of a flex day where I just have a couple things around the house that I can eat. But that's been really important for me because I don't have to cook every night. It saves me so much time. It saves me so much thinking because I only have to think about it on Sunday. And then the rest of the week, I'm not constantly thinking about what I'm going to eat. And I can make sure that I'm actually eating healthy and eating the things that I should be eating. It's also helping me not order food or go out for food as much. And I think that is really important if you are prioritizing healthy eating is meal planning and meal prepping. And the last one for nutrition is taking supplements. I take supplements every single day. Every morning I take my greens powder and my mushroom powder. So the mushroom powder is really good for your immune system. And then the greens powder just helps me get more greens into my day. It has a spectrum of fruits and vegetables in there. And it's just a really good way to start your day. I notice a huge difference when I take it because I crave a lot less and I'm less hungry. So I've been taking that every day for years. And then I also take a healthy energy supplement. I take my creatine, my electrolytes, and then I have some vitamins I take as well. I take a couple different ones. I don't know if I need to be taking all of these, but I find that they help me the most. So I take vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D, L-theanine. That is really good for my anxiety. And I also take before bed magnesium and omega 3s. Omegas have been really good for my brain health. Magnesium helps me sleep and it helps with my digestion. So I really basically prioritize digestion, immune system, and brain health because those three things I think are what I have struggled with in the past, especially my immune system. So adding in all of these things have helped me become more healthy. I'm less sick often. And if you work with kids, you know how often you can get sick. So it's been really important for me. You might not need as many supplements if you have a really strong immune system or you're not exposed to sick people all the time. But that's something that is important for me. Digestion is something I've struggled with for a very long time, and taking all of these supplements have really helped with it. And then I have also struggled with brain fog and memory and concentration. So the omegas have been a game changer for me. The next category is mental and emotional. So the first thing is knowing when I need alone time versus when I need friends. And when I say alone time, that can also include Paul because I'm just so comfortable around him. I love to be around him all the time. I don't need alone time from him. But there are times when I need to just kind of decompress and be with myself and with my thoughts. I love going and running errands by myself or working in a coffee shop by myself. I love reading or shopping by myself even. There's certain times where it's just better for me to be on my own because that really gives me time to think about things and process things. And sometimes my social battery just runs out, and that's okay. But I also feel like I have a good balance of knowing when I need my friends as well. I went out for dinner with a friend last night, and then I went for coffee with a friend this morning, and it was so nice to talk to them and just hang out and relax. So again, I feel like I have a really good balance between that. And the more I hang out with my friends, the more I want to hang out with them. So having really good friendships is so crucial. The next one is gratitudes daily. I've been writing in my gratitude journal, I think all year. I think since January I've been writing in it. And it helps me find the good even when things are really bad. So I write 5 gratitudes every day, 5 things I'm thankful for, and then I write 2 affirmations. And that's just really forced me to find the positive. There's been days where it's a lot harder than others, but I can always find 5 things. Even when I was going through a really hard time, and for example, the day my dad passed away, the day of his funeral, I still was able to find 5 things I was grateful for. So I think that's just a really good start to your day. And it also helps you reflect and invite in more good things too. The next one is reading a passage from my book. So I have a book my mom got me for Christmas 2 years ago, and it's called Everyday Spirit by Mary Davis. And it's just one passage a day for each day. And It's just, sometimes it's advice, sometimes it's stories, sometimes it's like prayers or gratitudes. It's been really good. I enjoy books like this. Last year I did The Pivot Year by Brianna Wiest. I read a passage of that every day. This year I'm doing this one. And then next year I actually received another book similar to this when my dad passed from a couple of my friends. So I'm excited to do that one next year. But it's just been really good, a good way to start my day. It puts things into perspective and then it tells you what to focus on that day, which I really like. The next one is allowing slower days, which is something I have struggled with before. I tend to have a go, go, go mindset and constantly need to be doing things. But there are times where I just need to have a chill day. And I'm really learning how to do this, which has been really good for my mental health. And then lastly, in mental and emotional, is having a clean house. This is something that seems so silly, but it makes a huge difference. Having a clean house with no clutter and having it like actually clean just helps me feel so much better. I get anxiety if I know there's a mess or if I've been putting off cleaning because I know it's there and it just makes me feel gross. So having a clean house helps me be more productive. It helps me be calmer and I just feel relaxed and good in my space. And the last category is personal development. As you know, I am a huge fan of personal development, and I think it is extremely important for everybody. So, the two biggest things that I do are reading books and listening to podcasts. So, I always read a personal development book or spiritual or whatever it may be. Sometimes it's like a business focused book. Sometimes it is real life stories. Other times it's more advice focused. But I'm always trying to learn new things and learn how to be better. So I always read a personal development book. And then most days, I will say I don't do this every single day, but most days I also listen to a podcast. And this isn't my like fun podcast that I listen to. I listen to those every day. I listen to like a paranormal one and I listen to The Basement Yard because it's so funny. But I'm talking about the personal development podcasts. So I really enjoy the Mel Robbins podcast, Jay Shetty's podcast. I've been listening to Busy Yet Pretty lately, Self Obsessed. Those are all really good ones. The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes is also really good. And Healing Honeys with Louise Rumble is really good. So I have, and Huberman Labs, of course, because I listen to that one actually quite a bit. But I just try and listen to things that will teach me new life skills, teach me more about topics that I'm interested in. And I also really love hearing inspiring stories. I love when Jay Shetty has guests on his podcast. I just listened to the one with Hayden Panettiere, and it was a really good episode. So I just love hearing that. It makes me feel less alone. It makes me open my eyes to different perspectives, and I just love learning new things. So those are all of my current wellness non-negotiables. I also wanted to share what my plan is now that 75 Hard is over. So like I mentioned, I'm still going to be maintaining those habits for the most part. But more specifically, I wanted to share exactly how I'm following it. So with 75 Hard, it was you had to do 2 45-minute workouts a day. One has to be outside. Instead of that, I am still going to be exercising every day. But the one outside, I am still wanting to get outside every day, but I'm going to do a minimum of 20 minutes outside instead of 45. It can be more than 20 minutes, but minimum of 20 minutes. And then still doing my indoor workout because I was already doing that before the challenge. You also had to drink a gallon of water every day. I'm going to maintain that. I do that anyways. That wasn't really a problem for me. I'm going to still track my nutrition, like I said, but have a cheat meal every now and then. I still want to read 10 pages of a personal development book. This might not be every single day. One thing I noticed with 75 Hard is by the end of the day, I was so tired some days that I didn't really process anything I had read. I was just reading to read, and that's not really productive. So if there are days where I'm just so tired, I'm literally closing my eyes while I'm reading, then I'm not going to force myself to read because it's not actually benefiting me. So still reading, and then you couldn't have alcohol on 75 Hard. I'm going to have alcohol occasionally. In fact, I'm going for a drink tonight because I really want a cocktail. So that is what I'm going to be doing now that 75 Hard is over. So again, still basically doing it, just not as strict. And you also had to take a progress picture every day. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. That is unnecessary for everyday life. It was good for the program, but not for everyday life. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing. These are my current wellness non-negotiables. Again, I'd highly recommend taking at least one of these things from each category and implementing it into your life. You can just start with one thing if you want. Maybe that's reading a book, or maybe that is meal prepping or taking a supplement. Just try one thing and see how much it impacts your life and improves your life. If you have your own current wellness non-negotiables that you want to share with me, I would love to hear it. I'm always looking for new ways to better myself. So you can DM me on Instagram at growthroughit.pod and you can share that, or you can share it to your story and tag me on Instagram. If you have any questions, you can also DM me on Instagram, or you can use the link in the show notes to anonymously ask questions or suggest future topic ideas. If you enjoy this podcast, I would be so grateful if you left a rating or review and followed or subscribed, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. Those things really help my podcast grow and reach more people, which is something that is really important to me because I want to share with as many people as I can. So that is all. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, remember that you are worthy. See you next time.